Hey Soul Family, this is Food by Faith. Thank you for joining me while I make dinner tonight. So what we are going to have tonight is a little bit of shrimp and grits, Food by Faith's way. So everybody has their different recipe for shrimp and grits. Sometimes I just saute the shrimp and put it on top of my grits. There are so many different ways that you can do it. I'll fry shrimp and eat it with grits. Same thing with fish. That is something that we eat a lot where I come from. I know in other parts of the world that many people eat shrimp and grits and fish and grits and things like that. Like I even eat stewed chicken and grits. But for me, eating grits is just like eating rice. So I enjoy it. So what we have here tonight is we have our wild caught shrimp. We have, for the shrimp, I have some seasoning salt. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle that all over my shrimp. And then I have a few other things here that's actually going to go in my grits. But we're going to start with our shrimp first. I already began cooking my grits as well as preheating my pan because for us, even if you buy quick grits, it doesn't matter what type of grits you buy, whether it be quick grits or the regular grits, we still cook our grits for a long time. And so you might hear my cans popping in the background. I just canned some jelly. But so we cook our grits for a while because we like that creamy taste. And if you ever come across anyone who has grits and they are thick, white, and creamy, then that person probably put milk in their grits. I do not use milk in my grits, but from time to time I will use chicken broth to make grits, and that's if I'm using the grits for something else. So tonight I'm just going to make cheese grits, where I'm going to take my grits that I've already cooked and I'm going to put some cheese as well as some parsley that I grew in my garden. So right now I have my shrimp. I'm going to coat it with a little bit of flour. And then I'm going to saute it in some bacon fat. And I keep a kettle on my stove with water that is warm because we drink a lot of tea here. So I keep that on the stove. So my pan was already preheated. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit, because as you can see, it's smoking. And we don't want that bacon grease to burn. So while that cools down just a little, we're just going to toss our shrimp in that flour. And guys, this isn't a complicated dish. Y'all know how I feel about cooking in my kitchen. Cooking is relaxing to me. I enjoy it. And so when I come to you guys with a recipe, I never want to overcomplicate it. So we're going to fit all of our shrimp into this pan. So make sure whenever you start out that you have a pan big enough for the amount of shrimp that you're going to be using. So I'm using enough for 3 servings. I'm kind of hanging out tonight by myself. Everybody else is at work. So I was in here kind of watching some Christmas movies, flipping between Christmas movies and YouTube while I was making my mixed grape jam. So I'm going to wash my fingers up and then I'll be right back. So I'm back, guys, and again, what we're doing is we're just sauteing up our shrimp. I'm going to bring you over so you can see. And they were lightly coated in the flour mixture. In the pan that I have in the back, that's my grits. And so I enjoy what they call a fork grit. Means that I can pick my grits up with a fork. So there are two kinds of grits. Some people call it a spoon grit, where whenever you are eating it, you can pick it up with a spoon. You know, it may be just a little slight runny, but for me, I like mine a little on the thicker side. And so right now, all I have in that pot is my grits, some salt, and some water. I'm going to add some butter, parsley, and cheese. So when we get to that, that's what I'm going to add to the grits. Now when it comes to our shrimp, I have some green onions from my garden. I'm going to add a little bit of Better Than Bouillon. And then some water. And so that's how I'm going to make my light gravy. So I'm just kind of tossing this shrimp around. Making sure that they get cooked on both sides. And we all know that shrimp doesn't take any time to cook, and the fact that I'm going to be placing this inside the little light gravy, all I'm doing is kind of browning the flour that is on here. And then I'm going to get a plate, and then I'm going to put the shrimp on, but I want to bring you in so that you can see what that shrimp looks like. And again, guys, we're not going to overcomplicate this. All right, so let me get a plate. And we're going to take our shrimp and we're going to place it on our plate. I kind of have everything in my kitchen strategically placed so that I can kind of just bob and weave back and forth, getting what I need. And it works out well when you have teenagers cooking in the kitchen. That way you don't have to worry about them kind of walking away to get anything and burning down your house. Y'all look, my hair just sticking up in the back and nobody told me. So we all up in this kitchen together and we cooking and y'all not going to tell me my hair is sticking up? Ain't nothing right about y'all tonight. Now guys, so we have our shrimp. We have our shrimp that we have taken out of the pan. And we have little bits of flour kind of stuck in the bottom of the pan. What I'm going to do, I need to get another whisk. So I'm going to add just a little bit more flour to the pan. And just a bit more of that bacon grease. I'm going to stir that around, kind of getting up the little bits that were left in the bottom of the pan from the shrimp. Yeah, that bacon grease smells so good. It's not good for you, but God knows it tastes good in any and everything you put it in. So we're kind of getting those bits up off the bottom of the pan. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put about a tablespoon of my Better Than Bouillon inside the pan. And what that does, it adds a little bit of flavor. You don't want to put too much because with Better Than Bouillon, it's a condensed broth. And so I'm also going to put my green onions in right now. Let them perfume the kitchen. Okay, and then I'm going to add some of that hot water. Guys, be very careful of this steam. Okay? I'm going to bring you in a little closer. Oops, sorry about wobbling you around. But right now, this is what we have. I'm going to stir this up, and then I'm going to add just a little bit more water. Giving you guys whiplash tonight. Just a little bit. And so you see what I'm doing is I'm adding a little bit of water at a time, because remember, you can always add, but you can't take away. And just make sure that your water is hot, that you have. That way you're not causing any clumps. All right, so our little gravy is coming together. I'm going to turn that down. Let it do its thing, and then we are going to work on our grits. Okay, so I'm going to bring you in what we're working with right now. So here we have just a little light gravy. So we're going to let that thicken up just a bit. We're going to add those beautiful shrimp back in. We're going to let that do its thing, and we're going to work on our cheese grits. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients to our grits. So remember, we're going to add the butter and the parsley. And guys, this is parsley straight from my garden. And you know how I dry the herbs in my garden. So I bring them in, I put them in organza bags, and I just let them air dry. So we got that butter and that parsley stirred up in there. And then I'm going to add some shredded cheese. And guys, I pretty much put parsley in everything. I enjoy its flavor, and it's a great addition to most dishes. So that cheese makes those grits just a little bit more creamy. So I'm going to move this flour and all that out of the way. So we have our shrimp here. And you see our gravy thickened up. Now guys, look how quickly this shrimp and gravy cooked. We've been on here for about 14 minutes and we're almost ready. Our grits, they're ready. And the grits didn't take that long. I put them on, like I told you, while I was working on my mixed grape jelly. And while the jars were processing, I just let the grits do their thing. I started, of course, with my Pampered Chef pot here with hot water in it. And then as I poured my grits inside, I whisked it to make sure I didn't get any lumps. And then I just put my little copper lid on top. And I wanted to do the shrimp with you guys because I wanted you guys to see the process of how I did that and how quickly it was done. So this can be a quick meal, a quick lunch. You guys know how I feel about brunch. So this right here is all me, all brunch. So guys, give me just a minute. I'm gonna plate this up and we'll be right back. All right, guys, here we are. Y'all, this thing look beautiful. It looks absolutely beautiful. And it smells good too. Let me turn you around. You can get them. Look at that. Oh my goodness. All I need is a little black pepper. Because just like parsley, I put everything. Now, family, let me know. If you only had 30 minutes to get dinner on the table, what would you make? Let me know. This only took us, me and you together, the shrimp and the gravy took us 15 minutes. But for me, the whole meal took 30 minutes because it took about 10 to 15 minutes to cook the grits. Y'all, this is something serious. Guys, you gotta try this if you only try it once. Even if you omit the shrimp and use a different shellfish, try it. This is a great dish, again, for brunch, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And it only takes 30 minutes to complete, and you have an amazing meal. What else can you ask for? Thank you guys for taking this little journey with me this evening. Remember, have faith in your food, get up, get out, and grow something. See you the next time.